Hello. So today we're going to be looking at geometry. So we'll be getting more and more into geometry. So geometry is the study of shapes. So we have already looked at triangles. That's the one of the two basic shapes that every other shape can be made from. So we'll use that as a basis of examples whenever we're looking at newer shapes. So we're going to talk about quadrilaterals, uh, and shapes that are more than just 3 or 4 sides. We'll also eventually we'll look at circles, and just in general, if we take any shape at all, what kind of properties and principles are fundamental and are already a part of these shapes. For instance, what do we know about the measurements of angles within those shapes? What do we know about the measurements of angles outside of those shapes? How can we use things that we've already talked about, for instance, with congruency or similarity with triangles? How can we take that then with shapes with more sides and angles in it? And then also just different types of shapes. So in general, we have polygons and we have circles. Now, depending on who you talk to in mathematics, a lot of people will argue, and nowadays mostly it's argued that we have those two definitions. We have polygons and we have curved figures, which would be curves that aren't straight edges, don't have line segments for edges, and most people call those just parts of circles. So we have circles and polygons. Um, I am one of those mathematicians that goes to the other side of that and say that, well, they're all polygons. Circle just has infinite number of sides or 0 sides, depending on how you want to think about it. Um, but that again, that doesn't really matter for the course. And what's important here is that we're just going to look at shapes, their measurements, different properties and principles we know about them. For instance, if I know that this is this shape, what does that automatically tell me about it? So that I can use that information to tell different types of angles in it, talk about the sides, talk about diagonals, talk about different things within it. So we're gonna just get this is just a video for a general overview of geometry in general, and just kind of give you a little heads up of what we're getting into. So at the end of this, you should be able to take a polygon and identify what its angles what they should be, know the difference between different types of polygons, know basic principles and properties of different types of polygons, um, and just be ready to go full force with in the future using that information so you can determine area and volume and various other things about shapes that aren't necessarily your classic polygons. They may be of a different type, but you can still use the basic principles that you know now and add on to that. So yeah, so we're gonna get into general geometry, and I will see you soon.